Hey guys, welcome to another ride in the struggle bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. On today's bus ride, we are playing against an 11K on OGS, and it's a pretty dynamic game. I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. There's lots of action in it, and lots of good, jockeying for position and trying to keep our group stronger while keeping his groups weaker, and he does a pretty good job of doing that to us as well. So, like I said, pretty dynamic game. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. As per always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos. I'd like to thank our friend for playing us today, and I'd like to thank my patrons for supporting this page. Before we get into the game, a quick shameless plug. I have revamped my Patreon page. I've added some rewards to each of the tiers, and so now everybody gets to see all of the video reviews that I do as part of my Patreon reviews. And so if you are a part of that already, you have access to the other reviews that I do. And then anybody who joins going forward will have access to all the video reviews, not just the ones that I do for you. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. If not, not a problem at all. You can just enjoy the videos because that's what I'm here for anyway. So let's get into the game. Okay, let's go. We are white against an 11K on OGS. He is knocking on the door of single digit Q. And so let's see how well he does with the basics. We will be following them, going for the corners, then the sides. Looks like he is expanding off of or extending off of his 4/4 stone. We will go and split his side, even though this is the smallest side. I like splitting up whatever side they go on. So he kicked, we extended, and assuming he extends out this way, we will jump. We are going to play a third line stone because he already has a third line stone here. If we played this, it would be a little too easy to pressure that. So we will play a third line stone to make our base here. So you can already tell he likes making wide shapes. He's jumping out a little more than we'd expect to see. I am just going to enclose our 3/4 corner over here. Enclosing 3/4 corners is larger than enclosing 4/4 corners, and so that's why I chose to do that. And he is coming to approach this, but these stones are already plenty strong enough, so we will go and enclose our other corner. We don't need to respond to every move our opponent plays, and so he played here, but we do not need to respond to this. This was a big side, but once he's played there, it's now a little bit smaller than it was. We can still invade here later, but right now the left side's a little bit larger. So I'm going to play a move on the left side, and we'll just go and grab our star point here. Okay, and so he approaches our stone, and he does so from the 4th line. I am going to respond to this because I don't want this stone to get weak while he pressures this group, because it looks like this is what he's going to be pressuring. So either we're going to strengthen our corner, or we're going to strengthen this one stone. And I think strengthening the corner is probably fine. And so I will just play a nice little second line move here, which is, small, but it gives us some nice strength. And so now this corner will be nice and secure. And so even if he pressures this, we can not worry about it too much. So then he responds. I'm not sure he needed to respond to that move. This seems a little slow, and that is okay. So now we can come back and respond to this, or we can find somewhere better to play. But I think responding to this is fine, and we can look at attaching underneath. That is often a move that we can consider, and so that's what we're going to play here. We're just going to play underneath, and in a way, this is attaching to a weak stone. But in this situation, it's okay because our stone also is not terribly strong. Okay, so he is extending. We will extend as well. Him extending makes sense, right? Again, we attach to a stone, so you would expect a Hane or an extension, and so he extended, and so we needed to respond. And so both of us are getting stronger here, but I think this is, in this situation, is a fine result for us. And now he is attaching to this stone. So we would expect either an extension or a Hane. We got to be careful with this Hane, just because we have a cut here. We've got a little bit of something here. So I think in this case, I'm just going to just extend down, gets this stone some more liberties. And now he's playing in here. Not too concerned about that. We can go and pressure this stone from this side while developing our corner even more. And so that's what I'm going to do, is make it so that this stone can't get nice and strong on us for free while enclosing our corner. So now it looks like he's looking to pressure our stone, and we probably should respond to this. We can be cut, and so I think it's probably best to just stay connected, and we can do that by playing here, which will remove a liberty from the stone. We can do it from here as well, but I think I'm going to just extend here, which is better shape for us, worse shape for him, and we'll see what happens with these two stones. And so now he's going to attach to this stone. We're going to threaten to cut here, and so we'll play this peep, and then we will play this hane. And so now we're able to develop a large corner while he's getting this kind of awkward group, and now he's going to push in here, which threatens this cut. And so we will play here, which protects the cut and threatens to capture the stone. He shouldn't save this stone right now, because this group really needs to come out. Okay, guys, it's that time again. It's time where you tell me where you would be playing here. This is actually a pretty difficult board state to figure out a good plan going forward, but we've got plenty of options here, so I'm curious what you guys would be looking at in this board. You know, it's our turn. Black has played a pretty slow move, and we have a good opportunity to get some initiative somewhere. But where on this board would we want to get that initiative? And so, as per always, let me know in the comments how you would handle this one. What would your plan be on this board state? Because this one's a pretty interesting one. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. With him doing this, we can play in front of the group and really attack it. He's not going to be able to get two eyes here. And so this was the wrong direction for this group. And so we can jump out here and start getting ahead of this group while also getting strength to go after the bottom. So looking at this board now, what I'm seeing is he's got this group that's a little bit weak. He's got some really good potential on the bottom. He's got some good potential in the corner. We can take this group and run it out, which will pressure this group while also getting strength to be able to help us in whatever invasion or reduction we do down at the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump out here to get ahead of this group and to turn it into something we can use to pressure the bottom. And so he is running out. He has acknowledged that there is an issue here. And I will just jump out one more time. While we're doing this, Black really isn't getting anything, you know, territory-wise. He's just getting strength for his group, but it isn't going to do anything as we're getting strength with a group that is going into an open area. So we'll be able to use the strength of that group. And so this is a risky play because this group isn't quite alive yet. And so now that we're ahead on this side, we can pressure from the other side. We can also look at playing a cap. But I think just playing some stones on this side will be fine. And so I'm going to approach this corner, get some strength here, and see if we can go after this group. So he pinches us, which is fine. So now we can look at, if we want to, we could sacrifice this stone to get a big attack on that, but that's not really a basic thing to do. Basic thing to do would be to protect the stone that we just played. And so we will jump out with this stone to protect it. And he is jumping out as well, which makes perfect sense. And we will jump out one more time to get this group, you know, a lot of options. So it'll be tougher to attack so that we can do something here. And he's going to come out as well. And at this point, you know, we could look at attacking this. He does have a good amount of strength, and so I don't think we need to do anything to it right now. this bottom is pretty large, and so it might be time to do something here. He's got a a two space extension here, which is really wide, and then this obvious very wide extension here. And so we've got some options. We can look at even playing like a second line move to live down here. We could probably look at something like L3, which looks like a really natural invasion point. So that's actually what I'm going to play, because this just feels like a natural invasion point. This is the largest area between his stones, and frequently when we want to approach a fourth line stone, approaching it with a knight's move from the third line stone is an efficient way to do it. Okay, so he attaches. We're just going to extend. You can also look at jumping. Extending is a little slow, but stronger. And because of the weaknesses here, I just want to stay strong and see what he does with this. Okay. So he jumps out here. I like this move. This is similar to what I was doing up here, where he's going to get ahead of our group to get some strength against us. And so I do like this as a move. We are going to fly out a little bit faster. We're going to do this 2-point jump just to try to stay ahead. And because of some Aji over here, this should work out okay, but we will see. And what I mean by this is, with us jumping here, if he tries to cut us, we've got this move here which threatens to kill this stone, and if he protects it, then we get to capture these two stones. And this is a little complicated, but it's an interesting shape that comes up a lot. Okay, so back to the game. He has jumped out here. We are going to continue our 1-point jumps across the entire board. Apparently we've been doing on the left side, we've done on the top, might as well do it on the bottom as well. And so here, what do we want to do? We've got a weak group up top, we've got a weak group on bottom, and this group is nice and strong. We can look at playing this interesting move, which will help connect us, because really we want to connect these two groups, and we can do it this way, but we can do it a little more elegantly. So I'm going to play this move here and just pinch this stone, and he extends. So at this point, again, we still have our weak groups. That's really what we should be looking at, getting strength. And if we can also coordinate it with this group, that would be helpful. So I'm going to play a move like this, which looks to get, maybe some eye shape here, a means to connect some stones. It's, we've still got some loose shape here. But I think that this will help tie these three groups together and give us a little bit more potential in here. Our friend is playing this game fairly well. I think he's doing really well this game. He has some large potential on the bottom right. He's got some large potential on the top right. We already have those corners that are about the same size, but there's some good potential here. Of course, there are weaknesses because of how wide his stones are, and we will probably need to exploit those weaknesses later in the game. Okay, so he attaches to us there. It's really only two moves we can consider. We can consider the Hane, or we can consider extending. I'm going to extend in this situation. It is better shape. I don't think we could have dealt with the cut because black is locally stronger than we are. And as we get strength here, we'll be able to pressure this corner a little bit more. So it looks like the theme of this game is getting strength for your groups so that you can then attack other groups, which is a very important theme in games of Go. That is something that is very relevant in games that I play. Now he extends down. Looks like he was concerned about the cut. So we also need to be concerned about our cuts here. And we've got this group to care about and this group to care about. This group has a little more room to maneuver than this one does. And so I think we're going to play this move here to link up these two groups And if he wants to go after these stones, we'll hopefully have a little more room to maneuver here. And it looks like he is indeed going after these stones. But I think we are in okay shape to play this shape move and try to connect up. I don't think he'll be able to cut here because we are fairly strong inside here. Okay, so he is looking to capture this stone. But we don't actually care about that stone, but we will absolutely take this Atari first. Um, because this would be a pretty big capture for us if we were able to get that. But when he connects, we are not going to save this stone. This stone does not do anything for this fight or anything that's going on with this board. So we will absolutely give that stone up. And I think just playing this Hane is probably good enough for this situation. And so that's what we're going to do, get some local strength here. And then hopefully he recognizes that this stone should not be captured. And unfortunately, he did go and capture this stone. So now we get another move. We get another free move on this board. And so what do we want to do? We should probably do something with this corner. Or maybe ensure that we are connected here. But I think we should do something with this corner up top. And so it's worth pointing out, right? This looks a little scary, right? Look at how big of an area he has surrounded. And it's tough to figure out how we can invade this, but it's important to know that we need to understand that these 3 stones do not completely enclose this corner. If they did, we would see this opening all the time because this is just too many points. And so I'm going to show you guys a pretty easy way to break up a corner like this. And so we're just going to attach to this stone. We can do it either side. I'm just going to attach to the top and the goal is going to be to cross cut if he hanes here. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to play this cross cut, and all we're looking to do is make complications here, create lots of cuts so that there can be Ataris and whatnot, because we can give up any of our stones in this invasion, but he can't give up any of his because it was his area to defend. So if he loses one of these stones, then it's really bad. But if we lose one of our stones, no big deal. So let's see how he responds to this. And if you watched my last Road Rage video, you would have a good understanding of what to do in crossfights, or where we have crosscuts. And if you remember, the first rule of crosscut fights are do not Atari the cutting stone because it leaves too many weaknesses behind. So now we get this Atari for free. Like I said, we can happily give up this stone. And now we can connect here. And now this stone looks like it's really out of place, doesn't it? And we can just come out this way. Now all of a sudden, his corner, not that big. And if he ends up losing this stone, this turns into a very large side for us. And so, yeah, lots of opportunities to reduce big enclosures like that. Okay, so now he's looking to get that stone. And that's fine. We are going to stay connected here. This stone is also not important, but we need to make sure that we don't get cut here. And so we're going to play this and stay connected. And if he captures, that's fine. We will connect this stone. And so we gave up these 2 stones, a total of 4 points to make sure that we were connected here. And that is perfectly fine. And so now he's looking to cut through, but that's fine because we can handle this cut. Because if he does cut, we can Atari, and it's pushing us right towards our stones. And so now he's going to force us to connect, and we will connect, and now he really can't cut. But he has absolutely played this game very well. Okay, so he's looking obviously to push through. We need to block him from coming in. And so we're just going to play this shape move right here, which it still protects the cut. Remember, we need to protect our cuts, and that is what we are looking to do here. And now he's protecting his other corner, which is good because there was potential for us to cause some mischief there. I'm going to come back and make sure that this is fully taken care of. And so I'm going to fully surround this stone, and I'm just going to extend here to ensure that this stone cannot escape. And then we can just keep on extending, and this is fine. So now this is a very large area that will probably be enough to win the game. And remember how scary his corner looked at first. But again, too many weaknesses with stones that are that far apart from one another. Okay, so he's coming back here. We should block here, I think, because there's a lot of points to protect here, and we are kind of getting into endgame, and so we can respect a move like this. I'm just going to play here. It's a better shape move. It protects some some potential shenanigans in the corner, and so that's what we're going to do. We do lose a couple more points by playing this as opposed to playing b14, but now this really isn't sensei anymore. So now we can look and play bigger moves on this board. So where are some bigger moves on this board? We can look at something like L2. We can look at something like G6. And I think G6 is probably the nicer reduction. And then we will just extend, which threatens to poke through and connects us. So that was a good way to get a nice reduction in Sente. We can also threaten to cut here to ensure that we're nice and connected between our stones here. And he plays over here. And so this move was a threat, and we are absolutely going to follow up on that threat. And we are going to cut him off here. So now he needs to find a way for this group to live. I'm not sure if he missed that this cut was here, but I thought that was pretty clear when we played F9 what we were aiming at. And he's just going to claim his prize and capture that stone. And at this point, this group's going to be in quite a bit of trouble. So I think we can just descend to L2 to further get some strength against this group. And at this point, I think we can just poke at the shape and reduce his eye space. And it's okay even if we don't end up killing this group. I might not even try. I might just surround it and see what happens. But I think this group is going to struggle to get 2 eyes. And so we can play here. And he descends. We will play here and threaten to cut. And so if we wanted to kill, we could probably just play J2, but I'm going to just play here, make sure we connect up. I don't want to kill this group, so we are going to play here and focus a little less on the murdering and more on just playing good basic Go. So he's trying to capture these 3 stones. We're not going to let him do that. We're gotta be careful though. If I play J2, pretty sure he's dead. Okay, so that is good, and we can let him be here. Though I still think we can probably play J1 to kill him. But we will just play some more endgame, and we will start with S6. So I'll just play this endgame, and I'll go over a few moves of endgame here before we jump ahead. But that is what we're going to end up doing. Okay, we will play our first line Hane, and then we had descended here and he didn't block, so we've got a monkey jump as well. So we will play here, and he has to protect, and now we will take our monkey jump that he did not protect, which is a very, very large endgame move. And he plays over here. Not sure the intent of that. We can play here now, which threatens to kill those 2. It does lose us a liberty, though. So I'm not sure we actually care about that. I think it's better to just go after his corner some more. And then go and come in this way. And just take our big end game reductions. That is all we are looking for here. And we can play this, which actually doesn't really do too much, admittedly. So we will connect. And what else? What else do we have for endgame now? We have H18 is a pretty large move, and so we can play that. And he plays on top. We will just slide back and connect. And now at this point, we pretty much are, past the big end game moves. So now I will see you guys at the end of this game. Okay, so here we are at the end of the game. And again, I thought our friend played really well here. He did end up winning, mostly due to this really large right side, but we got two pretty big corners here. Of interesting note, and I will show you, he ended up catching us in the middle and capturing our group here. And then we ended up catching him in a similar manner on these three stones. But either way, let's take a look at the review of the game and see where our friend could have done better. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of the game, and everything goes fine. This is a little, not strange, but this isn't what we would typically see here. Normally, if you're looking to immediately extend off of a corner, I'd expect to see a 3/4 stone here, so that he can take the large knight's move off of that. This is a better shape coming off of a 3/4 stone than it is off of a 4/4 stone. This just leaves, a few more weaknesses behind, which we were able to see later in the game. Or, conversely, he can take this knight's move approach off of the 4/4. But again, if that's your plan, it's usually better to play the 3/4 stone and extend off of that. So I decided to split up. He kicked, we extended. He took a big extension here, which also leaves behind some similar agi to what was in the top right corner. And we jumped back, and then he played another wide move. So again, this looks like, it's really scary, like how many points black is surrounding. But it's too loose of shape. There's too many weaknesses in here. And honestly, R17 still probably works here. There's a lot of room to maneuver. So anyway, so we extended our corner. He approached, which seems fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this move. We took the other corner and he came back. This, however, is a little slow. I think I would have liked to have seen him probably approach something up here. He could look at, the B16 invasion or B15. If you're unfamiliar with those, we can look at playing this. White would normally attach here and ask black if he wants the corner or the outside. And black will go, I want the outside. Well, he'll take the corner, and then black can take this extension. This looks like a fine exchange for both players. Another option is black could look at this, and white would normally attach. Black would extend, and then maybe play something like this and get a base. That seems reasonable as well. Or just playing a move on the left side. I think, playing anything around here would also be perfectly fine. If he wants to play in the bottom, I would be looking at either J3 or K3, just because we already have a lot of fourth line stones, and I think H3 is just a little too close to his F4 stone. Anyway, moving on. We do take the star point, and he approaches here. This move doesn't seem bad. I'm not sure what the intent of it is. It just kind of looks like he wants to go invade our extension here, but doesn't really do too much for black. I think it'd be better probably to either expand his own territory, maybe go after here. He could look at a move like this to press us down. He could look at a move like this and really force us to live small. He's got some options there. This is just looks a little misguided. I'm not sure what the intent of this move is. But we decided to respect it and go get some good shape here. And this is probably the first move that I really dislike this game. It's just black is already plenty strong here. I don't think he has to be worried about this cut. And if he is worried about the cut, he can do a bigger move, something like this. Because now white really can't get away with this move. And because now we're going to be Atariing and pushing right into this. And look at that, we've got a ladder right towards this stone. And I did not read that out, but this is what happens when you play good shape, is things tends to work out. And so if we're worried about protecting this cut, I think that's fine. Got to protect your cuts. It's one of our rules for a reason, but find the most efficient way to do it. And here I would look at this because it really looks to grow this territory while also protecting this cut. This is just a little too short-sighted. All it does is protect the cut, and it does so a little inefficiently. We then come back and attach. He extends, we extend. This all seems fine, and I think this is a fine response as well. I do think that probably B16 would have been a little better here, but this seems fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. But now we're kind of going the wrong way, I think, because Black's getting in trouble now because he's giving us this big corner when at the end of the day he still just needs to run out. And if that's the case, he should probably be looking just to run out now and not worry about this. Or if he does want to play this to threaten our cut, once we block, now he should probably jump out and not give away all of the moves to fully secure the corner. And it's worth noting, I'm talking, mentioning that he's giving us moves to secure the corner. That's because even with these 3 stones, there's so much Aji here that it's hard to even say that this would be our corner. And then you compare that to how much wider this is, and that will really give you an idea of, when I look at this, how I see that this corner really isn't secure. But anyway, so he attaches and we're able to secure. This would have been a better shape point for me. I almost mentioned it during game because it doesn't leave a cut behind, but that's fine. We play here. He plays this, which forces us to protect our cut, and then he comes back again kind of the wrong way because now we're going to start surrounding him. So I really think here he needed to jump out and make sure that he got out ahead of us. And honestly, Black still looks fine on this board. White's ahead, but this still looks totally recoverable. This looks like a fine game. But now, once Black lets White get out ahead, it's gonna start turning into a difficult game. This is playing a little too close to his strength. I think we can treat this group as a strong group. This group, not quite strong. And so I would probably be looking to play a move to either give us shape or to continue running out, or a combination of the two. Do something to help strengthen this group, I think. I think if we had played a move like this, Black probably would have been in a good amount of trouble here. Instead, though, we decided to go approach his corner, and he pincered, and now we did this. And this seems reasonable, but I think it would have been better for him to pressure us from this side. Even just playing a move like this, every move that he gets here now makes it tougher for a move in this corner to work. And we're going to have to respond to this. And even if we do end up coming back and making some good territory here, he's going to start making some good territory in the corner as well. So I think it's a fine exchange. This is kind of mutual destruction because it's going to be giving us some strength to help with anything over here, but it's also taking away our points here. So still seems reasonable, and we kind of jump out. All this seems fine for Black. And then we decide to go in here and see how he wanted to handle this. He kicked and then played here. I think this is a good response. I think this is a very good response. I think this is probably something very similar to how I would have handled this. So I think he played this sequence of the game. I think he played very, very well. And then played here to separate us. He could have tried a more aggressive move like this to really separate these two groups, but I think this does similar things. I like this move. And same thing here. I like this, where he's blocking our blocking our line of sight to this stone. I think he handled this middle game very well. And then so he forced us to play these moves to go connect, and he looked for something over here. He looked to see if he could cut off this group. I think he should have leaned on his strength and kept on going. The issue was I'm ready for this because as we get strength, it's going to get awkward on this group. So I certainly don't fault him for this. We go to connect up. He plays here. We go to connect up, and he plays here. And this is, I think, where things start going. I think this is where things start going wrong. Because once we play here, this stone is not important to this fight, right? So, going back, with it being my turn here, obviously I could have saved this stone, and I actually could have, because it threatens this cut. right? Because we've got our 3 questions, and the first question is, does this stone, if we save the stone, does it affect the life or death status of any of the stones on the board? No, it doesn't. Black's already alive. White's, I'm hoping, alive, and if I'm not, this doesn't change that. Does it have any good follow-ups? Well, the cut is a follow-up, but we need to be careful because saving this, lets Black take another turn, right? And let's just say he plays here. This cut isn't as isn't as great as it might look because Black gets to cut us here as well. So that follow-up, not that great. And is it worth enough points to save? Nope, not worth enough points to save. So we were able to play away, and I decided to get strength here. And so unfortunately, Black then shows us how sacrificing stones can be really helpful because now we get another move. We get 2 moves in a row because Black threatens this stone, which we ignored, and now he's taking the stone, and obviously we're going to ignore this because there's nothing we can do about it now. And so now we get 2 moves in a row, and it's just so huge to let us get both J7 and then the invasion going at Q17. This is a really hard stone to deal with because there's so much room to maneuver, and there's lots of cuts that can be made. There's lots of shape weaknesses for Black here, and as I mentioned, we can sacrifice any number of stones and it's okay. But if Black loses even 1 stone here, it's really bad. So we start the crosscut, and he commits the sin of Atariing the cutting stone. But it's tough, right? If he goes and protects this stone, then we're going to do this and connect up anyway, which is the same result as what we had before, just on the other side. So he can't really do that. And if he goes and plays this way, then we can Atari and then start looking to come out this way. And it's gonna be hard to contain this stone. We can actually and now that we have this, we get S18 in Sensei, right? If he wants to play something like this comes in Sensei, and now we get to pretty easily live here, right? There's so much room to maneuver here. It's a really hard stone. It's a really hard stone to answer. And so with him playing the Atari, we're able to get out very easily. And now this stone is separated, and with strength all around, it's pretty much dead. And at this point in time, the game is pretty solidly in our favor. But we could easily make a mistake and still end up losing this game. Black isn't in a terrible position here. And again, he's been playing this really well until he gave us the 2 free moves. I think this is the two moves here to let us go and get the corner, as well as this Hane, is really what tipped the scales for us. And so that just came down to our rule of don't save every stone, and the mirror of that, don't capture every stone. And I was hoping that this would kind of be a hint to him that this stone isn't worth saving, because obviously he's threatening to capture it, and I'm playing this saying go and capture it. That's fine. And I was hoping that would just hint to him that stone probably is not worth capturing. And then you saw how the rest of the game went. And then unfortunately, later in the game, he missed that this threatened this cut, and went to get that stone, and we took the cut, which does kill this group. We ended up not killing it, but this group is dead. We didn't need to kill it to win this game. And again, I don't want to murder everybody. That is not the intent of these videos. I want them to just be good basic structured play. But he did give us a nice interesting game, because again, I think he played this one really well. So that is where we're going to leave this one for tonight. Thank you guys for coming out for another round in the Struggle Bus, where every wheel is an empty triangle. Have a good one, guys.